Hey guys, I'm out here at the stockyard and I just finished loading up for the night. I wanted to take a little time to share a few thoughts I had, maybe before the coffee wears off, on profitability of raising cattle and the difference between raising commercial cattle and raising cattle in a more like homestead environment. You're raising them for your own personal use or maybe for a small amount of profit to add to your yearly income. Uh, First, I'd like to say that regardless of what a lot of people think, raising cattle is not a hugely profitable endeavor. It's a lot of work. When you really calculate it up and you put the amount of hours that you put into it, the amount of risk you take, and the actual reward that you get when it all turns around, it's insane. Any smart businessman would tell you you're crazy for ever taking that risk. So these people that think that folks are raising cattle to get rich, well, you're just you need to raise a few and try to make a little money off of it before you go to drawing conclusions like that, because it is not the case, especially from the farmer's standpoint, because in most cases the farmer makes the least of everybody. So first I want to say, first I want to talk about commercial cattle, raising commercial cattle, and my opinions on raising commercial cattle. And if there's anybody out there that raises commercial cattle and you disagree or you agree, I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. This channel's always been more for homesteading, or more homestead related topics. My cattle are more homestead type cattle. They're more, the traditional, and maybe, and in some cases the mini jerseys, I guess you might call more like the traditional jerseys, but in a way they're sort of a newer thing. They're even smaller than the traditional jerseys in a lot of cases. But if you're going to raise commercial cattle, in my personal opinion, if you can't raise a lot, you're almost walking backwards. I mean, the profit margin is so small that you just don't make much. You're not going to make a living on it unless you're raising a lot. It's going to have to be an over full-time job. If you put 8 hours a day into raising cattle, you will never make a dime. You will lose money probably. You better love it and you better be at it. And that's commercial and otherwise. So what I would say, if you want to raise commercial cattle, you should probably be prepared to try to cut out all the middlemen you can. You want to get in a situation where you are ideally marketing directly to the feedlots, or if you're big enough, maybe even marketing directly to the packers. Now, that's going to be tough, and you're going to have a huge amount of cattle to get contracts marketing directly to the packers. So that's almost not an option. So for most people, the marketing directly to feeder lots is the better option. Now, in order to market to the feedlots, your cattle are going to have to be, a certain kind. You're going to have really good cattle. They're going to have to be vaccinated, wormed, weaned, castrated, dehorned, the whole bit. And probably the thing that you should do is try to find a local stockyard that has a sale that specifically caters to those farmers so that they can market their good cattle that they put all the work into straight to the feedlots. Otherwise, your cattle are going to be bought by backgrounders who are going to do all those things, and then they're going to get paid for them instead of you. So, and I would say it'd probably be more profitable for you to get paid for them than the backgrounders. So, this is sort of a case where it seems the feedlots and the farmers are kind of shooting themselves in the foot. So, if that's what you want to do, then that's you need to reevaluate the way you market your cattle. In today's beef marketing environment, I guess you could say, the people who sell calves at weaning are being phased out. There's just no money in it, and unless you own your cattle, own your land, and you have nothing left to pay on it, you just can't make money. It just won't happen. And maybe there's somebody out there making a killing that. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your strategy if you are. So say something to me in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. So that's that. If you want to have commercial cattle, you better be prepared to have a huge number of cattle, a huge amount of land. You better be prepared to have good working facilities. Get your cattle up. You better know how to castrate. You better know how to do all the vaccinations and all that stuff, because otherwise you're going to be paying a vet. Now, I'm not against the vet making their money, but ideally, if you're the cattle farmer, you want to make money. And that's how you're going to make your living. So the other thing is, a lot of people are, going to the government. They're on the phone with their politicians, and they want them to regulate and get the packers to, take a little shot sometimes, so that farmers and the feeders can make more money. That might all work out. It might put some more money in the farmers' pockets. But in my personal opinion, what you should really be saying to your local politicians is deregulate. I mean, that's the problem. The problem is that we have to sell to specific packers, and there's only so many of them to sell to. That's a huge issue, and it's going to cause you to not get the money that you deserve for your cattle. So deregulation is what you should be saying to your politicians. In my opinion, it's worth everything. That being said, there's the other end of the spectrum, which is the end I'm on, where you have a few head enough that you can provide for yourself and your family, and maybe have a little extra left over to, make a little extra money to help you feed your cattle and, pay you for those sleepless nights and all that raising cattle will wind up costing. So you're not going to make a bunch of money, but it could be a good supplement to your income that way. But if you're going to do that, then you're going to have to take it even a step further, and you're going to have to cut out everybody. You're going to be taking your cattle, and you are going to be raising them from, you're going to take care of the mamas, and you're going to raise the cattle from birth all the way to the slaughterhouse or the milking station. And that's going to be the deal. I mean, it entails a lot. You're going to need, multiple pastures. You're going to have to separate stuff. You're going to have to be able to pull the bull at certain times of the year so you're not breeding the heifers, or pull the heifers. You're going to need a weaning pen. You're going to need a good amount of land, not near as much as you would need with commercial cattle. And you're going to have to be prepared to put in a lot of work, and you're going to have to be a jack of all trades. You're going to have to know how to do it all, because there's not going to be anybody. I mean, and to pay somebody to help you with it, it's going to really cut into your profit. So the way I try to do it is I make it for myself. That meat is worth so much more to me in the freezer than it would be sending it up the road and turning it into dollars for me. So that's the way I try to do it, and that's what I would recommend if you only own a few head of cattle. Don't let somebody else get the profit. Take it all for yourself. I'm all for being generous and not being greedy and promoting, other people having jobs. But when it really boils down to it, especially as a farmer, you've got to look out for your own profitability, and you got to make sure that your farm stays afloat. So you're not going to make a lot of cash that way, but you will make a lot of value from your cattle. They'll keep you fed, with a good quality, nutritious product that is going to be really expensive if you try to purchase it. Now, that being said, to get a product that is superior to what you could purchase, it's also going to have to be good at what you do. Every piece of grass-fed beef, every piece of organic or naturally grown, or whatever you want to call it, piece of beef is not going to be superior to the feedlot beef. In fact, the vast majority of it is way inferior because most people who are doing this don't really know what they're doing. And it's really hard to create a piece of beef that is as flavorful and as tender and as nutritious as even just what you could get from a commercial feedlot on grass and organically and stuff like that. So, you know, there's a lot of nuance to all this, and don't be fooled by the hype. You know, organic and grass-fed and all that stuff, I feel like it's superior, but you better be really good at what you do. You're going to need, if you're purchasing this stuff, you need to know your farmer and know that they are good at what they do and that they put the work in. Because otherwise, grass-fed organic just means starve. And that's, I mean, you know, you can go get you a good deer rifle and deer hunt if that's the kind of beef that someone's selling you at, you know, I mean, the prices I see on some of this stuff is insane. And I ride by the farms and I know that this stuff is not as good as just the normal beef that you buy from the grocery store, you know, for super cheap. So it's just some thoughts I had. I hope I'm not just rambling. But the last thing that I want to leave everybody with, as far as the beef and the dairy industry, on both sides of the spectrum that I've discussed, is that as farmers, we need to all be sticking together. There's nothing wrong with the commercial beef industry as a concept. Maybe there's problems within it, but there's also problems within the grass-fed, organic, you know, 100% humane raising of beef and dairy, because all that to me is just words. There's no, I mean, you better be ready to walk the walk. If you're going to tell somebody that you treat your cattle 100% humane and stress-free and all this stuff, you better be able to walk the walk, because most of that stuff is kind of BS. It's you know, it's just people talking, it's just people building hype, and it's just people adding value to their product when it doesn't deserve it. And now, not to say that there isn't a lot of people out there who have great stuff, but we all need to pull together on this and come up with reasonable solutions, because really, in all reality, the best thing is probably not totally commercial or totally local farm. The best thing for the farmers is probably somewhere in the middle. So that's sort of what I try to advocate for, is let's all the farmers get together on this and come up with solutions that helps everybody. Let's help the little guys, let's help the big guys. Let's try to cut out all the middlemen that are just in there stealing away all the profit and not providing a very good service. And that is what's going to actually, make the beef and dairy industry more humane. It's going to make it more stress-free, and it's going to make it healthier for the people who are consuming the product. So I hope I haven't rambled on for too long, and I hope everybody had, the attention span to listen to me sit here in front of a brick wall and talk about whatever was on my mind till the end. But if you took the time to watch it, thanks, and maybe I'll do another one next Wednesday when I'm at the stockyard and hyped up on coffee and waiting on the last truck to come. So thank y'all for watching, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope everybody learned something. And if you think you've got something to teach me, I'm glad to learn. So leave me a comment, and I'd be glad to talk about all this stuff with you. In fact, it's my favorite subject. So I hope that you guys take the time to watch the videos I post in the future, and I really want to try to post more videos for you guys of the cattle and the farm, and I want to throw in some of my views, and I'm really working on this vlog thing, but it's just not coming together as of yet. So maybe in the future I'll have that daily or at least weekly vlog going, and we'll get this thing off the ground for everybody's entertainment and education, including my own. So we'll catch y'all in the next video. Thank y'all for watching.